at 10. For local African Americans, it's a danger some face every time they're on the road. Their offense, driving while black.
A Memphis doctor and her husband are suing the city of South Haven, Mississippi, and 2 of its police officers over a traffic stop.
The couple claims their constitutional rights were violated. Now the doctor and her husband are black. The Mississippi cops are white. The traffic stop ended with the doctor and her husband being arrested for disorderly conduct. The doctor was admitted into the hospital that night for a stress-induced attack. The charges were eventually dropped. It's a case where the doctor and her husband believe they were targeted for driving while black. Tonight, we tackle a tough issue, a perception among some that there's danger in driving while black. We tell people stories, and we let you decide. Mario Lucchese lives in Cordova. He's a stocker at a local warehouse. He's also afraid to drive while black. His fear began 17 years ago when he was just 15 years old. According to Lucchese, he and a friend, a white friend, were headed to Wolf Chase Mall when they were stopped by a cop.
The police officer pulled me out of the car and asked my friend, did he know me? My friend said, yeah, that's my friend. And he's like, are you sure? Is everything all right? And my friend was like, yeah, what's going on? The officer was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure because it looked kind of suspicious. And that was probably the first time that I felt, really racially profiled.
Lucchese is not alone. Others across the Mid-South feel the same way and say at some point in their lives, they feel they've been pulled over just because they are black.
Late at night, it just ain't safe for a black man to be driving.
We randomly stopped 6 people inside Hickory Ridge Mall. We asked them to have a frank, impromptu talk about race and police officers. By a show of hands, if you've ever felt like you've been racially profiled, raise your hand. 5 of the 6 raised their hands. Naomi Frazier was one of them.
It was myself and some friends. We were riding along, and I must admit, my friend was speeding. But what was peculiar about it when the officer pulled us over was normally it's just the driver that they asked for their ID. They asked all of us in the vehicle, and it was about 5 of us in the vehicle.
It definitely happens. Racial profiling exists.
U.S. Congressman Steve Cohen says these situations are far too common.
Sometimes they prejudge people, and they may get in a defensive posture, which they think that they are in jeopardy, which they aren't, but because they don't understand the demographic differences.
Is it a dangerous situation? Yes, it is. But for me, it's for everybody.
Memphis Police Association Director Mike Williams says there does need to be more teachable moments.
I do think that there has to be some education. I think that's on both sides, though.
Right.
African Americans speak, they're expressive people. They may move their hands when they're not necessarily trying to be aggressive. They may raise their voices when they're not necessarily being aggressive. And you have to be able to understand that.
Some of it is race, and some of it is a blue problem.
Remember Lucchese? He believes it could be a blue problem too, since he's been stopped more than once.
When he came to the car, he told me he had pulled me over for my tags, and I explained to him and showed him that I had already got a ticket by a Memphis police officer the day before. I told him the officer told me to keep the ticket in the car so that I wouldn't get another one.
According to Lucchese, the officer then told him he violated the law by having tint on his windows.
He told me, well, since I couldn't get you for the tags, I can't leave you empty-handed, so here's this ticket for the tint.
He went to the police precinct and happened to run into a woman cop.
She went and got a higher-ranking officer. He laughed about it, tore the ticket up, and told me that he was going to make sure that it got thrown out of court because I was wrongfully profiled in Germantown.
I don't think everybody deserves to be the police. But I will tell you that 98% of the people that are out here that are willing to put their lives on the line for you, and they have, they're not out here really to hurt you.
But I know a lot of good officers, and know they did a good job, but the ones that aren't good, that don't act reasonably, their conduct needs to be improved upon.
Everyone we talked to said they respect the police. They know they have a difficult job.
I've met just as many good officers as I have bad officers.
They're just asking for better community policing. And we want to know, what do you think? Is it a danger to drive while black? Head to our Facebook page and weigh in. You can find us at Local Memphis. Also, MPD Association Director Mike Williams offers several tips to drivers for when they are pulled over by cops. To hear them, just go to our website, localmemphis.com, and then click on this story.